Hi everybody, Matt and Danielle back with you. Hope you're okay. Apologies, our eyes might be looking in different places at the moment. This video is going to be very different to any video we've done before. We have started our spooky season for Dark Side of the Moor. And what better way to kickstart it than to come and visit the most haunted road in the UK. We are on the Stocksbridge Bypass, which in 1987 was the scene of numerous hauntings. Quite a few have been seen since. So, I'll tell you a bit of the story as we go. We're just going to have a little drive around. Stocksbridge Bypass is kind of Sheffield to Huddersfield, 6-mile stretch. I have no idea what's going to happen in this video. It may be absolutely nothing at all, but we're going to show you what there is. I'll tell you the stories when we're at the locations and take it from there. All good? Okay, so we are on the Stocksbridge Bypass. Danny's in the driver's seat. I am for the camera. And if you don't know the story of Stocksbridge Bypass, very quickly, in the mid-80s this road was being constructed. And 1987, September, 2 security guards were doing the night check, driving from one side to the other to make sure everything was all right. And on the way up, just as they started, they reached this area that we're in right now, and there's a pylon at the side of the road. We're looking at that pylon now. I will show it you in a minute. And they saw a group of dancing children, almost like Ring of Roses style. Couldn't quite believe what they'd seen. They stopped the car, they looked back out of the car, couldn't see anything. There was no other transport or vehicles on the road, so they backed up and reversed, came to this spot, got out and had a look, but there was no sign of any children. They looked at the ground. The grass had not been trampled, nothing had been there. Couldn't quite understand what they'd seen. Back in the car and set off just a little bit further. Again, we can see it, almost see it from here. There's a bridge that crosses the bypass. On that bridge, when they got to it, there was the figure, a cloaked figure, looking like a monk. The monk was stood there. They stopped the car again. They shone the headlights at the monk. The lights went right through it. As they drove a little bit closer, the monk disappeared. The next morning, the next security guards came onto the site and were quite surprised to find the car with the security guards in from that night, just a bit further from the bridge. The 2 security guards, completely white. They were still alive, but they were completely white, and they were shaking in fear at the things they'd seen that night, and they refused to speak about it. So, what have we done? We've come to where the children would have been dancing, where the monk would have been stood. We're going to see if there's anything here today. It's not the end of the story though, because a few days later, 2 policemen experienced something quite creepy as well. But we'll break the story up a bit. Let's have a look at where we are just now. Just behind that tree there, you might be able to see the top of the pylon. So this area here, where we are now, this is where the children were spotted dancing. Now I'm not sure that there'd been a lay-by at that point. Where we are now, Oh, now you can see the pylon, and where that light is, the bridge is just there as well. Now obviously we're on a very busy road, we can't really walk about, but we can just have a quick closer look at the pylon. There's the pylon. So they saw the children dancing around that. And yeah, the pylon is there, and if there's pieces of artwork of this occasion with that actual pylon on it. That car doesn't help matters. But I think we can safely say I can't see any dancing children today, but who knows what will appear on camera. If you do spot anything, let me know. In fact, we're warping in and out, that's quite interesting. This is quite dark. Can you see us? Yay! Next is the bridge, which you'll see stretched across the motorway. We cannot stop anywhere near the bridge, unfortunately. The monk was on top of it, literally looking down on the security guards. Okay. Right, so a few days later, 2 policemen pulled up in a car here, just past the bridge. I can't remember the name of the bridge. I put it at the bottom. It's P something bridge, like P Lane Bridge or something. And whilst they were parked here, they said it suddenly felt really, really cold. The car felt cold, and there was a smell like antique musky books. Ooh. That's interesting. The power went out and they all died. No. Anyway, they got this smell, and it's called, and one of them said it just felt like somebody had walked over their grave. All of a sudden, at one side of the car, the driver's side, a figure, a cloaked figure, presumably that monk again, appeared and disappeared. At the other side, the passenger side, the monk appeared and disappeared. Policemen started to panic. The driver of the car tried to start the car. The car would not start. Eventually it did. They started driving away, but as they were driving away, there was suddenly almighty bang, bang, bang on the back of the car, like somebody was attacking it with a baseball bat. The policeman just kept going and never looked back. Even when they looked in the mirror, they didn't spot what was hitting the car. Just going to see if we can look back at the bridge, but again the path ends here, so I have a feeling we won't get near to it. It's funny there's another pylon there though, but it was definitely the one at the other side. Yeah, no, it's not gonna see it. Yeah, so here we are, parked in the spot where the policemen were, and where they were suddenly attacked. Back of your car's fine.
For now.
For now.
Oh wow.
What? Whoa! Where's that come from? You.
Yeah.
noticing it's actually suddenly getting very, very foggy. So, don't know if that helps, but it adds to the atmosphere. Sorry. There you go. Hello.
Hi.
Right. So we have just been right up Stocksbridge Bypass. I filmed some of it. It's not very clear. It's a very soggy night, and so obviously we're filming through a wet windscreen as well. So maybe something will have appeared on screen. However, once the story got out about the security guards, it was on front pages across the UK the next morning. There's a couple of headlines that I've managed to find, and you can see them now. And once the bypass opened in 1988, it didn't quite stop there. There were a few other reports, amongst them some very strange ones. One person saw somebody running, and when they looked closely they realised that actually the feet were below the road, so like from their ankle down they couldn't see it. So it wasn't like they were floating. Sometimes you'd think they might have been floating. They're actually further down, running lower. There's been suggestions of a ghostly gypsy wagon, and also just fairies. I never saw any fairies on this road. But yeah, so there we go. We've just driven back down, and we're now back at the location where the bridge and the pylon are together. We can get them in one shot. So we'll finish there in a minute. We're warping, aren't we? It's really weird. Something in this area causes... I'm not doing anything, and it's not set to do anything. Something is causing the camera to warp. Look at that. Interesting. Right. We'll finish off here. Oh my goodness. Who is controlling the camera? Look, here's our hands. It's not us, I promise you. We're not going to be here for very long. Right, let's go and have a look. Right, so we're out again. So we're just heading to the bridge. As far as we can get, we have to stop here, but you'll be able to see the bridge and the pylon together in a moment. Yeah, something was going on in the car with the camera. It's not doing it now. I don't want to fall over. So that's, yeah, can't quite see it yet. It's just due to the lights, but you can see the pylon. Something is coming under the bridge. There we go, pylon and bridge, same picture. Right. We have found a little path. Don't know whether we should be on it or not. Oh, right. Not very far. Whoa, and very slippy. Nowhere. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to leave it here. It is absolutely lashing it down. We may lose our image in a minute. But what are the kind of discussions that came up afterwards? Well, firstly, somebody thought the children could have been from a mining accident. Potentially, you know, there was mining in this area. Could have been a group from there. And with the monk, it's a bit of a funny one. There's no abbey nearby. There's a suggestion it could have been a monk who had been kind of sent away from the abbey. There was somebody nearby a house who was a monk who had gone there to work, and when he died he'd been buried in unhallowed ground. Potentially it could have been that monk who, you know, hasn't been put to rest yet because he wasn't in the right place. These were suggestions, but again, who knows? So if anything's appeared on this video when you've been watching it, please pause, find out exactly where, and tell us what you've seen. There was some, I think the weirdest thing was just in the car then, something was causing this to go in and out. It's not like it's been rained on and it was happening. Very strange. Yeah. It's a spooky area. I haven't seen anything tonight, but it's not right. There's definitely some weird feelings here, but could have just been we frightened ourselves beforehand. Right, from Danny and me, take care. We'll bring you some more spooky stuff over October. We'll see you very soon. Bye for now.